This is my review of CoBra Kai Season 2. Now, CoBra Kai is a very popular show on YouTube Stream. Now, it could have been on Netflix, it could have been on cable, it could have been on regular television, but they managed to put this on YouTube streaming. Not bad. What I love about CoBra Kai Season 2 is that the first episode picks up where Season 1 left off. See, in Season 1, we had it where we were at the martial arts tournament and we saw Johnny's son lose in the championship, and his student, he managed to basically win. And his old sensei from the very first Karate Kid film makes his dramatic return, and after 30 years later, he beats the crap out of Johnny, just like in the first two films. Like, if you go back to Karate Kid 2, where he punched him in the face and gave him a black eye for getting second place and losing. Hold on. You know how I do my reviews. Hold on. Spoiler alert. Gotta say it again. Spoiler alert. If you ain't seen Season 2 of CoBra Kai, go watch it before you come back and watch the review. Hold on. Spoiler alert. Gotta say it again. Spoiler. Yes, it's a millennial thing. Spoiler alert. You see him 30 years later, and he comes back, and it's just them two face to face, eye to eye, and you think, okay, Johnny's gonna finally prove to his old sensei, I don't need you no more, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And he gets his ass whooped. And I think that was the good twist on the story. We see later that the character who beat him up in the first film, I think Ralph, I can't think, whatever his name is, he played Marty. He basically, later, he's teaching Johnny's son and his daughter karate, which is convincing. And then for them to bring an original character from the first film to come back with the new Cobras, and then the training montage where he brought them to the same junkyard of cars where he would introduce them a new level of training, it was poetic. It was like bringing the student and the master back together once again, just like the first two Karate Kid films. And the fight scene where Johnny's son, his son tries to fight his mom's new boyfriend is kind of comical, because you could imagine your mom and dad were married for 15 years, they divorced, she gets a new man, and you kind of torn between, my daddy wasn't there for me, and then my mom's trying to move on with this new guy that I don't like, and my dad's enemy's the only one that's teaching me how to fight. And the show Mr. Miyagi in the middle of these training montages was perfect. It was like, let's not forget why we loved the first film and the second film of the Karate Kid. And the fact that they were able to take the events of the first film and the second film and say, okay, Season 1 mirrors the first Karate Kid film. Season 2 is mirroring Karate Kid 2 in a different way. Okay, it's the new generation, but it's got original characters, all original casts. You're seeing their lives play out as we expect their lives to play out if this was going to continue on past the first three films. I know some people are going to ignore Karate Kid 4, because I am, even though Mr. Miyagi was in it and they told the story of the main character from the first three films. Most of us are going to acknowledge Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3 and ignore the fourth film. And yes, we're going to ignore the fifth film. Sorry, but we're going to ignore Karate Kid 5. I didn't like the fifth film, but my point is, this goes back to that feeling that you had when you watched the first film. And this is where we get to, he has to punish one of his students for starting a fight. The guy with the mohawk. We get to see the evolution of his character grow. He's turned into the bully. He's got rejected. He wants payback. And we see the girl go back to Johnny's son to make up to him. He wants to get back together. You know, she leaves and want to go with the student that went to Johnny in episode 1 of season 1. And the fact that we get to see towards the end of season 2, where we get to see the two characters from the first film fight each other, a chance to prove who would really win. Now, I don't want to spoil the whole episode, spoil all the episodes, because if you've seen all the episodes, then there's no point in you watching this review. You only watch this review if you actually seen all the episodes. And for me to try to break down every single episode would be like telling you the whole entire show. So that's like beyond spoiler. I'm just breaking down certain parts of the episode to explain my review. I give this a good 9 out of 10. I still want them to go back and explain in that 30-year period what could have caused Johnny to still want payback. I mean, yes, season 1 touched on he never got over the fact that he lost, but when they talk about the first 2 films, it's got to make me wonder who's going to be the villain in season 3, because yeah, it's nice to see the old master return, but it's like someone else has got to be a villain in all of this. Like, who's going to be the one that challenged them to a contest? And somewhere in this, Johnny's got to get his payback, because, you know, he needs to prove that he was the best. And I love that they tied up in season 1 of his past that he went into karate because his mom, you know, messed around with too many men, and that his real father wasn't around. And this kind of shows that that in season 2 he wants to make up for what he done wrong in season 1. So this is my review of CoBra Kai season 2.